Hey team, welcome back. Well, it is hot. Hottest day we've had for a while. We're just in the ute here. We're about 38 degrees Celsius, if you're not in Australia. So it's a bit of a stinker, but anyway, it's all right under the air conditioner in the cabin. And it is, drum roll, the first day of harvest. And I think, judging by the comments, I think some of you guys are more excited about it than what I am. But anyway, we're about to get underway. We've shifted the gear around and stripped a sample, which we just strip a 100 metres or a couple hundred metres, and then we take a bucket full of grain to the receival, and they'll test it for the moisture content, and then we can decide whether it's ready to go or not. So the moisture came back about 5.8%, so we've got to be under 8. The oil was nearly 45%, which is really good because we get paid a bonus over 42, and the test weight was hectolitre weight, which is basically, from my understanding, is the weight per a litre of grain essentially. So it was about 64. So it's all looking good. Got young Reese out from town. He's down stacking hay. I've just been down to him. We're having a bit of trouble with the telehandler overheating, but the back screen, the grill was covered with chaff. So that's as soon as I sort of brushed that off, it did cool down. So just going to have to watch that. But it is being so hot, we might have to stick a pin in it today. It's going to drop back to about 25 tomorrow. We might have to just key in that job for the afternoon and just let it cool down a bit. It's not the greatest. We're soon discovering it's not the greatest for cooling. That telehandler, it doesn't have a reversing fan because the radiator's at the back of the machine, and it's sucking the dust in as you're travelling all the time. So I thought it was supposed to have a reversing fan, which essentially you can reverse the blades on the fan and it will actually blow the dust back out the radiator the other way. So we may have to look at seeing whether we can get a kit to retrofit a reversing fan on it, because it's not great the way it is. So anyway, baled again last night, got another sort of 180 odd done. We're into the vetch again. Was baling really well, so went through till about 2 a.m. I think. So anyway, we're not going to bust our bubble today with the header. We'll sort of fill the mother bin and fill the truck, we'll just see. We may get give a contractor a call if everything's going all right, but we'll I've got some drop trays here that I'll put out behind the header to see how much grain we're putting out on the ground. And sort of just initial settings. The sample in the box is pretty good. We didn't have a lot of chaff and that in it, so fingers crossed we haven't got to fiddle around with the header too much, because it can be a bit of a it can do your head in a little bit at times if the crop conditions are a bit tough, but being so hot the way it is, it's perfect harvest conditions. So anywho, we'll get a bit more gear shifted around. We've just got to bring the truck round, and then we'll fire into it. Well, we're rocking along pretty well here. Basically just set the header up to, I've got a little quick card here. Actually, I'll show you what we got. So I've got a little, I don't know what you call it, what they actually call it, a little quick guide for, I'll start that again. A little quick guide here. Jesus. A little quick guide for basically initial settings when you're setting the header up. So I've set the header up to basically what this is suggested, and I haven't touched it. The sample's sort of been really good, and we don't appear to be putting much, if any, out on the ground. We are losing a bit, whether it's out of the windrow or just we stopped before and I backed back and just had a look on the ground to see what was under the header, and there is a little bit on the ground. So whether we're losing a bit out of the windrow or a little bit out of the front, but there's not a hell of a lot we can do about that. Those of you that are new to just stumbled across the channel, we're running a 2015 7240 that we bought second hand. This is our second harvest with it, so we're still getting our head around a little bit. It's done about 1600 rotor hours, and then we've got a PW7 backed-on pickup front, which we've had for quite a while now. So this is the third header we've had it on. Probably not. You sort of think that, oh, maybe we should update it, but you know, at the moment here, if the yield monitor on the head is right, you know, where it's plenty. We're getting plenty of material into the front, into the header for, you know, the capacity of the machine. So when the windrows are good, if the contractor's done his job properly, yeah, good windrows will feed into most fronts. It's where you get lumps and bumps, and if they've had a battle windrowing it, then this front probably does battle a little bit. So anyway, so what we've done a calibration load. So we've got the truck out here as well. It's up where the trees are there. So we've basically stripped 25 tonne, or to what the monitor and the header is telling me, 25 tonne, and then we've started we've saved that, and then we'll take the truck to town in the morning, and then yeah, obviously we'll put the actual into the screen, and that'll give us our actual yield. But at the moment, you know, we've done all the headlands and all the fiddly bits and the bit of stuff where there was sort of no, a few drowned out bits and that, but we're sitting about 2.6 tonne, but I have seen, you know, the yield up to about, you know, 3, and I haven't actually seen it at 4, so, yeah, so once we get better going into these better consistent runs, hopefully the yield will creep up again a bit. So if we go to the monitor, so we are actually yield mapping. We've got a USB in the side of the screen here. So yeah, we're mapping the yield, and then we'll come back. So basically, you've got your legend there of your colours, and I can go in and I can adjust that to whatever, you know, whatever the yields are. Just press OK. If we zoom out, I can sort of show you where we've been. And it, yeah, essentially draws you a nice pretty picture as you're going along. We're getting along at about 4.8k seems to be sort of the sweet spot. So we've got our loss monitors along the bottom here, so that's our rotor loss. Our sieve loss is basically where the grain is separated. Separation does start in the rotor, but our sieves is where it does a lot of the main work, where the chaff and the grains separated, and then we've got what they call the repeats. So yeah, our losses are pretty good. There you go, it's just it's now telling me we're 3/4 full. So at the moment, you know, here, if that's correct, which I'm thinking it'll be pretty close, we're around, you know, 3.3, 3.1. If we could average 3 tonne, that would be. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So for those farmers amongst you, we're running about 640 revs on the rotor, 600 on the fan. We've got our top sieve at about 10, and our bottom at 6, and our concaves are running at about 20. Bearing in mind that we do have different concaves, we've got aftermarket concaves in this machine. Yeah, and if anyone wants to know a bit more about them, just hit us up in the comments, and I can give you some details on them. But yeah, it's all happy days. It's still bloody hot outside, so it's pretty good in here. One thing, these machines have very good air conditioners. Guidance is off the Trimble, so yeah, we've just grabbed one of the screens out of the tractor. We can look over our shoulder. We can see there's not a reflection, but that's grain through there, so we can see how full the tank is. Yeah, so we're just picking lines up at the moment. Hopefully Tony's not far behind me here. Yeah, we'll unload on the run here in a minute. spot on in the middle of the bin.
Yeah, I can't judge it. Yeah.
We used to follow the wheel track, like the outside wheel track, straddle it, but it might be different. Might be driven the bin for a bit.
Yes, I've got my outside wheels on the outside track.
Yeah, we're hitting the crossbar right in the middle there, so that's what we're spot on.
Oh.
Just been having trouble. It's always the start of harvest. Just fella in the chaser bin, just judging where to drive. So we've unloaded that in that space of time, whatever that was, minute and a half, something like that. Yeah, so it does unload pretty quickly. A quick rundown of the machine and what some of this stuff does. So they've got a 4-speed transmission, which we just change over there. If the camera will focus, it probably won't. It's just a dial, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then essentially we've just got a propulsion lever that you push forward, which I just bumped, and then bring it back to go backwards. The machine doesn't actually have a clutch as such. It's only got brakes. And then on this joystick, this is sort of where all the business happens. So we've got up and down on our, lifts the front up and down. This one, if we had the big front on, this controls the reel. If you've been watching the windrower one, it's similar. We can start and fold our auger in and out, start and stop our auger. I've got a predetermined height set on the front, so when I turn around the headland, I just hit that button and it takes it back down to the front, to that preset height. Auto steer button, and also we've got one here. If say the chaser bin's full, we can shut the cross augers off in the bin and empty the auger out, so we can fold it out. So when you're harvesting wheat, like that auger could hold a ton and a half of grain, and yeah, there's a fair bit of weight swinging off the back of it. So we can see with the windows not super clean, you reckon the bloke driving it would have cleaned the windows first, but yeah, that's the grain coming in the box there. Basically, so we engage our separators and our front with these two, and then basically these are the other ones here, obviously park brake. We do have a high and low in each gear as well, which we generally don't muck around with. And the rest of these ones are to adjust the machine settings themselves. So a lot of the newer machines, and it doesn't matter which colour you go with, like everything, automation's coming in. So you can basically set your parameters and the machine will speed up and slow down on its own accord. And yeah, like it's taking, most of them now are actually taking photos. They've got a camera in the box or the camera in the elevator, and it's taking photos of the sample of grain as it's coming up into the box, and it's adjusting the machine to suit. So yeah, but obviously with that comes a big price tag too, most of them. So you know, you're looking not too many now. By the time you put a front on them, you're $1 million and some. You know, they're talking UX9 John Deere with the fronts, you know, 1.2 million or something. So yeah, a lot of big biggies. But yeah, it is what it is now. We'll probably, unless we Tats Lotto, we'll only ever buy second-hand machines. This machine we've got here with the front, with the big main front, the 12-metre front was 350,000. So you know, it's coming on, and this is its 8th season, although it's only done about 1,600 rotor hours, machine hours, which isn't heaps. We generally, sorry, just a little lift up and let it both hands. Yeah, we generally, so yeah, this is the third harvester we've owned, self-propelled harvester we've owned, all cases. Generally we run them for about 10 years, and you know, buy them with around that 1,000, 1,500 hours on them. So this one, I think had, what's it done, about 1,600 rotary hours now. I think it had about 1,300 on it last year. So with the contracting, yeah, we do about 300 machine hours a year. Basically, the contracting helps pay. I had someone ask in the comments a couple of videos ago about costs and that sort of stuff, what it costs to grow crop and that sort of stuff, which I will sit down and do one. I have done one in the past, but I'll sit down and do another one for you. It's just a bit of an updated one. But yeah, look, without the contracting, we wouldn't be running a $350,000 harvester for our area we've got. So it just allows us to keep our equipment updated. Like we did roughly $100,000 worth of contract harvesting last year, and that covered the repayment and then the maintenance. So we didn't have a lot spare. But yeah, you know, we had last year, we had to sink quite a lot of money into this machine. We had about roughly a $50,000 repair pre-harvest bill for maintenance. Yeah, and then the repayments are around that $50,000 a year. So we weren't out of pocket, but we just didn't make any money either. So look, hopefully this year we haven't spent much at all on the header. You know, $3,000, I think, something like that at the moment. Touch wood. Hopefully we don't have any major breakdowns. So you know, hopefully we can stick 40 or 50,000 in our pocket after the repayment, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, things are going to harvest. We charge by the rotor hour, so we will, you know, last year was a tough year with the crop being down and that sort of stuff. The crops are all sort of standing up this year, so harvest should be a bit quicker with a bit of luck once we get into the cereals. So yeah, but it's all rocking along, not too bad at the moment.
That's a bit better. We can sort of see there with the light in the right spot. So.
Cool change has come through. It's dropped probably 10 or 12 degrees, so actually good indication it's cooling off outside as you turn the air conditioner down. So I've all but got the air conditioner turned off here now, but it's about 7:30. And I don't know how we're going for room. We wouldn't be far off actually having the mother bin full, so we might get a bit of an early mark tonight. Not too sure whether I'll go and press hay yet or not. Yeah, we'll just see. Getting a bit weary, we might be better off getting up in the morning and doing a bit perhaps. So anyway, yeah, we'll be all day in here tomorrow, and then yeah. Got our truck driver on deck in the morning, so that'll be good. And yeah, young Reese will be back. He's going to come back and stack a bit of hay, and he should be right tomorrow because it's going to be a fair bit cooler. But yeah, we just need to sort something out with that telehandler because it was hot today, but we need to be able to reverse the fan on it. Whether there's a kit we can put on it, I think it is an option with those telehandlers, so whether we can put a kit on it so you can reverse the engine fan to blow the dust out of the filters. But anyway, we'll get a chance to look at that at some stage. Day one of harvest in the books. We filled the mother bin and got a good load on the truck. So we've got Russell, older guy, that drives the truck for us. This is the second year he's done it, so he's going to be here in the morning, and yeah, he'll take the first load over. Hopefully he's not overloaded because there's a fair load on the truck, but I think we would have stripped, I reckon we've stripped about 60 tonne maybe. Generally when the mother bin's full, there's not a full load. There's not two full loads in it, so of canola anyway. Usually there's 2 full loads of wheat, but yeah, all rocking around through pretty good. Gonna give on what we've done, I think 3 tonne average thereabouts, which is bloody fantastic. Yeah, just the variety's got a bit to do with it, and yeah, and look, hopefully the oil stays up. It was good. It was good in the sample, so hopefully once we get a truckload over there, it'll be good. But I'll show you guys if you On the next one, just what the canola looks like and that sort of stuff. Actually, I was on the phone. I had a mate ring and I was on the phone to him when we knocked off, so I sort of forgot about it. I was going to wind this one out there and have a look at show you what the go was, but I got home and went, oh, I meant to do that. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, day one. We'll see you on the next one, and yeah, still baling hay. I'm going to get up early. Just looked at the dew point on my phone and we're only about 20-25% humidity, so I'm going to get up. The dew's going to come up during the night, so I'm going to get up early in the morning and press hay and then back on the header tomorrow. So day one, stay tuned for day two and beyond. So there's a bit in front of us, so it's there'll be plenty to see. So all right, thanks guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da.